Smile, meet, chat, join for networking.
So, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Craig. I run a company called Slightly Unusual. Now, we are a little bit different. You won't see many people like me on the networking circuit. We are magicians and illusionists. We do big grand illusion shows and we do close-up magic. And I kind of got into the whole networking scene about 3 years ago. And one thing I found is that magicians, as a community, are terrible marketers. And you'll find that no magicians go to networking events, or very, very few. The whole idea for a magician, the whole idea for them to find a gig is to put an advert in the Yellow Pages. I think that's still kind of the case today. So when I started networking, I kind of looked around the room and there were solicitors and estate agents and business coaches and social media experts, and I was like, man, how is this going to work for me? And I made it work by using the kind of the skills I inherently had as a magician to make myself memorable. And this foresight is all about me teaching you a couple of simple magic tricks, a couple of simple techniques that are going to help you so that when you hand over your business card at a networking event, people will remember you. Because we've always been there, we must have been there, where you've been to a networking event and you come back with a ton of business cards and 3 days later you look at them and you go, I don't remember you, bin. We've all been there, so I can pretty much say pretty much every single time I give my business card out, people remember me, and it's because of what I do when I give the business card out. So when you have your 3 one-to-ones, and you want to try and make sure that people remember you, the stuff I'm going to go through is hopefully going to help you with that. Does that sound good? Now, before we do any of that, I thought, you know, when I tell people I'm a magician, they always go, show me a trick. So before I do that, very quickly, would you guys like to see a trick?
Yes, please.
Good, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get someone to come up and help me, and I'm going to read somebody's mind. Congratulations on probably the single most sarcastic group who I've ever heard in my life. I'm going to read somebody's mind, and that mind is you. Will you come up and help me? Would that be good? Fantastic. Give her a big round of applause. That's very good. You can sit right there for me. What was your name?
Karen.
Karen, everybody. This is Karen. Karen, I'm going to read your mind. It doesn't just work with anybody, so I have a psychic test. I have here an envelope. On the envelope is a question mark. On the other side of the envelope, Karen, is a word. It could be any word in the English language. Be honest. Don't lie to me. Tell the truth. Do you have any idea what this word is?
No.
Correct. Darren Brown, watch out. This is awesome. In all seriousness, Karen, inside here there is a prediction, something that's going to happen in the very distant future. I'm going to give this to someone to hold on to, and that person is you. What's your name, sir?
Brian.
Brian, nice to meet you, Brian. Now, I'm trying to bring a kind of a Las Vegas feel to this room, because after all, I am a magician. So I'm going to give you the envelope. Now, later on, I'm going to shout out at the top of my voice, who's got the envelope? Now, when I shout out who's got the envelope, Brian, what I'd like you to do is stand up with your feet slightly far apart, put one hand on your hip like that, hold the envelope up in the air, pretend you're a Las Vegas showgirl, and say, yoo-hoo, I've got the envelope over here. It's kind of giving. And just so you understand your role in the show, Brian, we're going to have a practice, okay? So, bet you're glad you came along to 4N TV now, aren't you, Brian? Right, so practice, here we go. Who's got the envelope?
I've got the envelope.
Oh, come on. Frankly, Brian, that was possibly a little bit too good, but that was awesome. Okay, that was great. Now, I also have a pack of playing cards. Now, these are not normal cards. These are blank. I have written something on them. I'll tell you what in a minute. This is all about celebrities, because as a culture, we are obsessed with celebrities. My wife is obsessed with celebrities. Oh, do you know who's married who? Who's broken up with who? Who's done this? Who's done that? We're obsessed with it. And without knowing it, you probably will know every single celebrity without even thinking about it. Perfect example. I've got some blank cards here. And on the other side, the blank on one side, but on the other side, I've written names of celebrities. I will read out their first name. You guys shout out the surname. You'll know the surname without even thinking about it. I'll give you an easy one to start. Tiger. See what I mean? It's that easy. Sandra. There you go. Simon. We don't like him. Samuel L. Exactly. So easy. Taylor. There you go. Madonna. Yeah, that'll get you. There's always one. There's loads of celebrities on here. I'll show them so you can all see them. Well, all the way through from George Clooney, Leonardo DiCaprio, Will Smith, Bruce Willis, a whole bunch of people. So you're going to help me, Karen, okay? If you want to give the cards a very quick shuffle like that, you can do. You don't have to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's absolutely fine. Oh, you do? Have you ever helped a magician before? No. You're not helping one now, to be honest, but that's... It's my fault, I shouldn't have picked you. It's fine, Karen. Now you've shuffled, I'd like you to spread them out so you've got roughly half in each hand, and you're going to hold them spread out in each hand. If you can do that, that'd be great. Now you're going to make all the decisions, Karen. I'm going to snap my fingers when I do. You're going to hand me half the cards. No wordplay here, people. Whichever half that you hand me, we're getting rid of. We're eliminating that half. I'm going to put them over there on my little table. So whichever half you give me, we're going to get rid of those if you can give me half now. Wonderful. So we're going to get rid of those and spread those in half again. So we've got half in each hand. If you could do that, that'd be great. And hold half in each hand. That's great. And I'm going to snap my fingers when I do hand me half. We're getting rid of that half. There you go. Fantastic. So we don't really have many left. We've got only a few. Not enough really for you to do that again. So I'm going to spread them out. Touch one. Anyone you want to. Just touch one. That one there. Are you sure? Yes. It's important that you realise you have a free choice in this whole thing. Are you happy with that one? Good. Hold on to it for me. Now think about this for a minute. She could have gone for Simon Cowell, Tom Cruise, Justin Timberlake, Tom Hanks, Johnny Depp. You ended up with that one right there. Do you recognise the celebrity? I want you to turn it around and show everyone the name of the celebrity. Go for it. And say it out loud.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. Yeah. And you look very excited about that, Karen, so that's wonderful. Brad Pitt, and that was a free choice, that's fair to say. Free choice, you could have picked anybody. It's interesting because you had a completely free choice. There are tons of celebrities. You picked one and one only. And before we did this, I had a prediction. I put a prediction in an envelope, and I gave the envelope to a man who does an amazing impression of a Las Vegas showgirl. Who's got the envelope?
I've got the envelope now. Yeah!
Let's just do that for the next 10 minutes. That's good. Inside here, did you look at it? No? Trustworthy? Inside here is a picture. Let me ask you a question, guys. You had a free choice. You ended up with Brad Pitt. You had a completely free choice. You made all the decisions. There's a picture of here, one single picture, a picture of a celebrity. If I told you that this was a picture of Brad Pitt, would that be good? Yes. Good enough to get a round of applause? Absolutely. Guys, you could have picked anyone. She picked Brad Pitt. I have in here a picture of Brad Pitt as a baby. Thank you. Thank you. 6-month-old Brad Pitt, honestly. Now, I know I'm sensing some hostility from the back of the room. I know what you're thinking. What would have happened if Karen had gone for Will Smith? I had it covered. It's all good. No problem. All sorted. Yep. But you had a free choice. You said Brad Pitt. Guys, I really did know, because inside there we have Brad Pitt. Come on! Wonderful. And you can have that, Karen, to put on your office wall. There you go. That's for you. Give her a big round of applause. Good job. So, now that's what I do. My job is to stand on stage 5 or 6 days a week and make an impression. My job is to be the centre of attention. My job is to be the person that everybody remembers. And that is what I did when I started networking. I thought, well, if I can take that ability and then use that while I'm networking, I stand a good chance of people remembering me. So next time they have their corporate event or their wedding or their party or whatever it may be, they'll remember me, they'll look at that card and they'll give me a call. So I've developed a couple of simple things. I've developed a lot actually, but we've only got a few minutes. So I'm going to share with you a couple of techniques that are designed so that when you give your business card out at the end of that 10-minute one-to-one, people are going to remember you. Sound good? So, let me do this. Actually, because you did such an amazing job of being a Las Vegas showgirl, will you come up and help me? Is that okay, Brian? Give Brian a big round of applause. And if you sit down for me, Brian. Now, let's just pretend for a minute that we've just had the most amazing one-to-one ever, okay? We've just had a one-to-one, and you ask me for my business card, or whatever it may be. I want you to take this pen. I have a stack of my business cards here. What I want you to do is put your initials right there, nice and big and bold, so everyone can see. Put your initials right there on my business card. That's fantastic. And I'm going to take the pen for a minute, and I want to hold your hand out like that, flat for me, and I'm going to put my business card onto your hand. That's perfect. Now I'm going to do the same thing again, but this time I'm going to put my initials. There you go. Can everyone see that? I'm going to put my initials on there. So I'm going to have this card here with my initials. Now, the rest of the cards aren't important. The only important thing are these two. I have one card with my initials on, one card with your initials on. I'm going to take these two cards and put them face to face onto your hand. Now, I'm hoping that we can do business with each other. I'm hoping that you and I can work together in the future. So as a way to remind you about that, I'm going to take these two cards, the one with my initials on, the one with your initials on. I'm going to flick it like that, snap my fingers, and I'm going to try and cause it just like that. The initials jump off the business card that I signed, and now our initials are on the same card, just like that. My initials and your initials, signifying that we're going to work together, and you can have that and give me a call if you need a magician. Boom. Can you stay? Is that all right? Because I'm now going to explain that. It's a very simple thing. Now, is magic difficult? Yes, it can be. Have I spent years of practice to do this stuff? Yes. However, this is incredibly easy. And as long as you guys have got business cards, which you will have, you can do it within seconds. I'm going to share the method with you right now. It's called something called out to lunch. And the only thing that you need is a couple of elastic bands, and you need business cards that have got a blank surface on one side. So, you have 2 half cards. We'll get to that in a minute. And I prep 20 cards, which means I can do this 10 times. Now, my business cards have just got my business card details on the one side, the blank on the other. On 10 of the cards, I put my initials. Can you all see that? So on 10 of the cards there, I put my initials. So I've got my initials in the same place. And then 10 of the cards are blank. They've got nothing on them. Okay, so 10 cards are blank, 10 cards have got my initials on. I face these cards. So it's like that. So you've got 10 facing up this way and 10 facing down this way, and there's your CAP, that's my initials. Now what you do is you take another business card and you cut it exactly in half. You put one half here, covering the CAP, and then the other half, you write CAP on it, and you put that on this half, covering the cards that are blank. Does that all make sense? Now you take your elastic bands, and this is where things get a little bit interesting. Now what the elastic bands does, the elastic bands do 2 things. The first thing it does is it keeps your, there you go, that was clever. The first thing it does is it keeps your stack of business cards together. But then the other thing it does is if you move that, those elastic bands right down there into the middle, just like that, once you've positioned them correctly, you can't tell that there's a half a card in play there. The elastic bands creates the illusion that you're just holding a stack of business cards. The elastic bands hide where the half card ends. Does that make sense? So when I want to do this trick, all I do is I put my business cards into my pocket, I bring the business cards out, I'm holding it so the CAP is towards me, okay, and then I turn it over, and as long as the CAP is this orientation, that's fine, and I get you to put your initials here. Now what he's doing is he's signing the business card that's underneath this half card. That's one that's got my initials on it. If you peeked under that half card, you can see that my initial's there. So he's actually signing a business card that's already got my initials on. Now all I do is I turn the packet over, and as I do, I pull this business card out. Now I won't turn it over so you see what happens. All that happens is, as I take it out, it slides out from underneath that half card. But I do it as I turn it over. This then goes on your hand. So he thinks that's the card he signed. It's already got my initials on it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Then all I do is I just take the pen and I pretend to write my initials on this one. Really, I'm writing nothing because my initials are already there. So I just write my initials, pretend to do it, just pretending. And I say, I'm going to put my initials on this card. Now this one, the cards under here have nothing written on them. So when I say I'm going to take this card with my initials on, and I take it out like this, in reality there's nothing on it, because that still stayed there. So all I have to do now is put these away. By the way, this is now reset, ready to do for the next person I network with. I just pick up these cards, turn them face to face like this, and I talk about how we're going to work together and hopefully there'll be a synergy between our companies. And then all I do is I make a show of it, but this one's now blank. And now this one has both of our initials on it. And I give him this. Now can you imagine, next time he looks at that card, he's going to go, I remember that guy. He's never going to have seen anything like that before. But also, I've had this. I've had people that have had this on their office desk, and somebody has come into their office and they've said, what's all that about? And then they tell them the trick, and they're like, oh great, let me take his number down. And it's just a great way to get noticed. Now, thanks a lot, Brian, by the way. Big round of applause. Now, this out to lunch principle you can use in a different way. So for example, I've got another setup here, and can you help me? Is that all right? It's Rob, isn't it? Rob, grab a seat, Rob. Yeah. This is set up slightly differently because there's another way to use this out to lunch thing. So this time, let's imagine again I'm networking. Rob, I've got one of my business cards here. I've got a whole stack of them actually, but can you just write your name on that one there for me? Just put your first name, that'd be great. That's very good. And we're going to put the pen away. Hold your hand out for me. I'm going to try and do something here. I'm going to put your sign card right there on your hand. And I want you to think of something. Think of something, think of it in your mind, think of it now. Whatever you're thinking of, it's going to go right there onto the card. 3, 2, 1. Onto your sign card. it now says, oh, look at that, 4N works. Obviously, we know what he was thinking about. So that's, and you can have your marketing logo or marketing message appear on the card, and it works the same way. All you do is get yourself a stack of business cards. Whatever it is that you want to have appear on the card, you just write it on there. You put your half a card on top, and you can make a message appear on the card that the person signed. How I've done this, when I go to a 4N meeting, I'll liaise with the group leader, and I'll ask who the visitors are that week, and I'll ask what they do. Now, if there's somebody that's going to a meeting that I know that I've got a synergy with, it might be maybe a wedding planner or something like that, or an entertainment agent or somebody, or a HR consultant or somebody like that. I'll ask the group leader for that person's phone number. Then I'll prep this with that person's phone number on this stack of cards. I'll have a one-to-one with them, and I'll say, hey, I'm Craig, blah, 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 blah. I've never really met you before. Actually, you want to know what I do? Let me show you what I do. Can you sign this card? Very good. I want you to think of your phone number. We've never met before, have we? No. Fantastic. Turn the card over. And their phone number is on the card. They freak out. I've won a couple of contracts doing that, but think about how memorable it is for that person. It is literally the most memorable thing you can do. And I think that when we're networking, it really is important to get people to remember who we are, get people to remember what we do, and this is a great way of doing it, because it's combining business cards with something memorable. Thanks a lot for that, Rob. I appreciate that. Now, I'm going to share one more thing with you right now. Does anybody have, I've got one, but we're not going to use mine. Does anybody have an iPhone I can borrow? Would that be good? Anybody got an iPhone? Fantastic. Can I borrow that?
Yeah, sure.
That'd be wonderful.
Dread and exhaustion.
Are you? You're an Arsenal fan?
Yeah.
Sorry? Sorry? Yeah, I heard you the first time. I'm just sorry. Somebody's got to be. There you go. Oh, dear me. Let me see. You've got a lock on this. Would it be good if I could unlock it? Yeah, it would. I can't do that. That'd be good. But I am gonna do something here. Can you unlock it for me? Because that'd be great.
Just my name. It's pretty hard.
Oh, that's cool. Brilliant. Awesome. Awesome. I'm going to find your calculator with this amount of apps. That's next to impossible. Oh my gosh. Utilities. This is turning into a 30-minute foresight. There we go. Calendar. Right. Brilliant. Okay. Calculator. We're going to do something kind of a little bit strange here. Can you do me a favor? Can you put, I'll hold the thing for you. Can you put in a 3-digit number for me? That's great. And hit times. Wonderful. Thank you. Put in a 3-digit number. That's great. And hit divide. That's great. Put in a 3-digit number. Now you can hit times, divide, add, or take away. I don't really care. That's great. Put in a 4-digit number for me. Hit times, divide, add, or take away. And again, I'm not really bothered. Wonderful. And can I finish off by asking you to put in a 3-digit number for me? And hit equals. Wow, that's a big number. 947,123,967. That's 9 digits. Does anybody know a mobile number in the UK, how many digits there are? There's 11, and it always starts with 07. Okay? Has anybody else got a phone? Can we use your phone? Is that all right? I want you to make a call. This is a great way to get to know people you don't know. What we're going to do, we're going to take this totally random number here, and we're going to stick 07 at the front. Okay. Whoever it rings, I want you to have a minute conversation with them, okay? So if you just put 07, then 947, 123, 967, and hit ring. That'd be great. Hopefully it won't be like a dead line or something.
Is this the point where I hand it to you?
No, you're the one doing the talking. Not me.
And if they hang up or...
Oh, hang on, my phone's calling. 1 minute, hang on. Hello?
Piss off.
So, seriously. Now, what that is, right, guys, that is a great way to get people to keep your number, because now here's what's happened. You now have my number. So I can say to you, by the way, it's Craig Petty, just save it as that contact. And likewise, I'm going to save your number in my phone. So if somebody says, have you got a business card? Yeah, I've got a business card, but let's try something. In an incredibly magical way that people are going to remember forever, you now have their phone number, they have your phone number, and they will remember that number. Now, how this originally came about is when I was single, I used this to get girls' phone numbers. For the single people, that works great. You'll get a girl's phone number every single time, but I've discovered it works just as well with networking. Here's how it works. You need an iPhone for this. You personally don't need an iPhone, but you do need to borrow an iPhone. Now, Apple, and it's been very nice of them, a lot of people don't realize this, especially non-Apple people, but even if a phone has got a lock on it, you can still access the calculator without unlocking the phone because of the latest iOS upgrade. So, if you, even if there's a lock screen on there, if you just swipe up and press calculator, you can access the calculator without even unlocking the phone. So when I take the phone back, the first thing I do is I just switch it on, and immediately I swipe up and I access the calendar. Now I'm just talking and I'm just laughing. Oh, you're an Arsenal fan? I'm just joking around. I'm saying I'm trying to unlock your phone. How many times do I have to do this before it locks? Oh dear. And what I'm doing is I'm setting the phone up. Now here's what's happening here. You clear everything off. Now there's an acronym that you need to remember. If you can remember this acronym, it will work every single time. The acronym is TOXIC, T-O-X-I-C. So here's what you do. You type in the phone number that you want to have displayed. Now you have to take the 07 off because iPhones will only display 9 digits. So you take the 07 away. My phone number is 947-123-967. So that's my phone number. Then I have to do the TOXIC thing. Now here's what I mean by TOXIC. Once you've put the number in that you want to have them end up with, you type T, which is the plus, T is plus, O is the 0, X is the multiplication, then you turn it, I is the left bracket, and turn it back again, C is the C. That's it. And then you hit that button there, and you're back on the lock screen. So that's all you do. You type in the number you want to have come up, and you type in T, that's plus, O, 0, X, multiply, I, left bracket, C, clear. Now once you've done that, you give the guy the phone to unlock. It makes no difference because I could get access to the calendar anyway, calculator anyway, but you know, it looks more deceptive that way. And then you go to utilities. Good grief. Okay, here we go. There it is. So there you go. Now all that you do now is you can get them to put in any amount of numbers. You can get them to times, you can get them to add, you can get them to take away. It doesn't really matter. Let me show you. So we'll put in a few numbers here. We'll take that away from that. We'll times that by that. We'll plus that. We'll divide that. We'll stick that in. We'll times that. We'll plus that. We'll do that. When you hit equals, it comes up with the original number that you stored in there. And it works every single time. So all you have to do is just go to several people saying, you put in a number, hit times, hit add, hit take away, I don't really care. When they hit equals, it comes up with the original number, in this case 947,127,967. All you then do is get somebody else with a phone to put 07 at the beginning, and then put the rest of the thing, and then when they ring it, they will automatically ring your phone every single time, and you can pick it up. And you go, hi, how you doing? Yeah, and it's a great way, appreciate that, thanks for that. It's a great way to, once again, make yourself memorable. So when that person says, hey, I'd like to give you a call, can you give me your phone number? Yeah, I can actually. Let's try something. And then you go into this. Now, if you're really, really smart, you can do it with somebody else's phone number. So we talked earlier on about getting information beforehand off your group leader. You can speak to your group leader if there is somebody you want to speak to. You can grab their phone number and pre-program your phone with that number. And then in the open networking, either before or after the meeting, you can say, right, okay, grab a couple of people around and say, you know, I want to try something. I don't know your number. I haven't had your business card yet, but I want to try something. Don't tell me your number. We'll use my calculator. Can you do me a favor? Can you put this, put this, put this? Right, what's the number? That's the number right there. Can you ring that number for me? And then that guy's phone will start ringing. Or, and this is another way of doing it, you can actually just put in a random 6-digit number. So you can put in a 6-digit number and use the out to lunch thing. So with your out to lunch thing that I was talking to you about earlier on, you can put in, let's say your number's 636678, you can put in 636678, and you can get someone to sign that card, get them to hold on to it in between their hands, then you borrow a calculator, do all the adds and takes away, and you go, okay, there's 636678. You've been holding a card the whole time. Turn that card over. And now the number that they've generated on that calculator is now written on the card that they've been holding onto, that they signed from the very beginning. So that's an example of what I was talking about. You know, I think that, you know, we spend a lot of money on networking, and we all know that 4N works, and we all know we love 4N, but I think it's really important that we need to put the effort in ourselves. So when we're not, and we've all been in the situation where it's early and it's like, oh, you kind of just gone on autopilot. I try, when I'm networking, to put 120% in every single time. And I always want to try and create that connection. I always want to try and make myself remembered for all the right reasons. And if you try some stuff like this, I promise you it'll work. If you want to know more about it, I've got tons of videos on my website of lots of different things like that that you can use when networking. But obviously, this is on 4N TV, so you can rewind it and watch it again and again and again. I'm getting another call now. But guys, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the foresight. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Smile, be chat, join for networking.